Hey everyone, so today is the third video for Scott Evans. We talked a lot already about his type, about his authority, and today, Scott, we're going to be talking about your channels and your gates and your inclination cross, which kind of could be described as the purpose of your life. If you are watching this at home, you just quickly go and get your chart yourself to check out, okay, do I have this activated as well? And see if that goes for you as well. If you haven't gotten your chart already, there's a link in the description below where you can just click on and then type in your infos and then you go get your chart for free. Okay, let's go. Let's start with the channels today. So the channels can either be activated in a conscious or unconscious way. Conscious would be black and unconscious would be red. It can also be mixed. Then you're kind of aware that this is a part of your personality or a part of your character, but you're not aware of how deep it goes. So the channel 1222, we share, Scott. So I'm gonna say this: if you type whenever this happens, when I have the same channel or the same gate, then I kind of know how this feels. So I'm gonna just try to dive in a bit of in a personal way. So channel 1222. This is the channel of openness, and it's also a channel of strong emotions because it's linked to the emotional center. Again, here we do have your actor part. This is a channel that is often activated in an actor's design because this makes you so open. It combines your emotion to your throat, so you can kind of openly communicate your emotions, openly talk about them, openly show them, put your emotions into your words. In this channel, we are easily overwhelmed by emotions and we do enjoy it. There's this depth in us that makes us seem powerful, vulnerable, and unpredictable at the same time, which is kind of a mix, right? So we face challenges with natural intensity and also with passion. And all of these aspects fuel the realization of great things in your life. So while while we may appear to the people we surround ourselves with, we may appear calm and self-secure, there are numerous emotional waves going on under the surface. We don't have problems talking about our emotions as, come on, we love them. And when we grow out of the being cool state of puberty and early adult years, we develop into someone that identifies and appreciates these waves. This is a trigger for us to get rid of pressure. And at the same time, we need to take care of those who surround us and may get hurt by this. People tend to not understand nor cope well with these waves of ours. So we can be extremely passionate in everything we do, be it deep talk or reading a good book, doing sports or whatever makes our hearts jump. But at the same time, we can become so angry, so frustrated. I talked about this in the first video already when I explained your authority. That's why I'm not going to dive deeper into this. So others may ask us, where the hell did these emotions just come from? I went out of the room, I came back, and something in you changed. What happened? And we wish we had any idea, but we don't. We're naturally different. We feel we're naturally different from everyone else, so we tend to attract a great deal of attention, be it um, be it admiration or be it people being offended by us coming off as so strong. Consequently, we contend with the fear of being observed, and we fear that our uniqueness may be found strange and may also lead to rejection by others. So, for us to know something fully, this is a very important part of my life because I find it in whenever I do a coaching or mentoring, this is so important. Or whenever I read a new book, I immediately know I'm going to have to read it again. I'm going to have to go through all the videos again to fully take up everything that is in this. I just want to, it needs to, I need to consume it on an even deeper level. So everything we stumble over, everything we read, everything we hear, we learn, it must be repeated and heard again a few times. The strange thought that we really need to read every book at least 2 times to fully take everything out of it comes from this channel. We also have the capacity to really listen and hear what is being said, which makes us true good listeners when we are in the mood. When our social interactions are guided by our mood, these barriers that we kind of fear are existential to us, the barriers come down and our fears dissipate. It is in this environment of social openness, this is the moment where it all comes together, that the magic of our mutative difference has its full impact. Quick tip for everyone with this channel: be clear of your emotions before you address them to someone or go into contact. And please be aware, if you are in a surrounding where feelings and emotions are not addressed or okay in any appearance, then we tend to try blocking our emotions and be less. Please know that blocking them will make them metastasize. They will then block your power and your energy flow, and denying these emotions can never be the solution for us. Trying to be less is a great pain of ours because, well, we experienced it a few times. So with your keen sense of timing, Scott, and an awareness of your audience openness, you know when to use your warmth and social skills to get people's attention, as well as how to get close enough for them to get close enough to them for your words to be a catalyst for loving changes in their lives. You use quality and inflection in your voice to move or touch people in order to educate, mutate, and communicate. When your mood and timing are in sync, you can empower others to experience love's full range of emotions through public media, such as speaking, acting, poetry, music, mostly through serving others around us. With our huge creativity, we sometimes feel the urgent need to go back into our cave and spend time only and exclusively for ourselves. Only dogs allowed in those moments. Please note that even when you're not in an emotional wave or not expressing your emotions, people around you will always be influenced by your current mood. And I'd also like to add that when you follow your strategy of acting from emotional clarity, video 1, you will master all these challenges. Channel 1034, the channel of exploration. This channel is a very typical MG channel, and it has in it the importance of you sticking to your convictions in everything you do. This is pure empowerment by being and responding, and you can deeply empower others simply by being the purest expression of yourself. For example, by being open to the world about who you are and thus inspiring others and kind of allowing others the same rights that you're taking for yourself. Happiness and bliss for you lies in doing these things that you love all day long. And it's an important piece of this puzzle that in this, you're not depending on others. This channel has a very self-centered aspect. You just have to do the things the way you think is right. You don't need to feel bad about this, as this is coming from your core. The knowledge about which mistakes to make and what to experience lies within you. And from there, when you draw this information, although you may sometimes not believe it, other people also admire you for these clear life approaches. It doesn't matter whether others share your beliefs or not, your satisfaction lies in you acknowledging and appreciating yourself for who you are. This is a deep knowing also in you. Channel 1034 is one of the tantric channels, meaning transmuting low energy into high energy. This transmutation is taking place in a very individual and personal way. It's empowering your convictions as well. Others may feel empowered in your presence, but that is not the most important thing for you. And that is fine and it's okay. So you had 2 channels activated. You still have them activated. Why did I use the simple past? You have them activated. And now let's go on to your gates. The gates in your head center. Your head center is completely free of active gates, meaning you get inspired by others and by your surroundings very quickly, sometimes not being able to distinguish those ideas and fantasies of others from your own. You will feel energetically loaded whenever surrounded by inspirational people. With an absolutely empty head center, you really need to learn waiting with the pursuit of inspirations in your head and bringing them into life. You need to wait until you bring them into life, until you're in a place of, ta-da, surprise, emotional clarity. Which I feel like I've been saying like 300 times in your reading now, but not doing this probably was a reason for many, many fuck-ups in your life. You will rarely find your own ideas and your own inspirations. And this can also be a source of constant distrust in your world and the urge of trying to find out what are the people's motives around me so you can like find out whether when this idea comes into your head as well, whether it's a good one to pursue or not. Let's go on to the gates in your ajna. That's the second center in your head. You have 4 gates activated in your undefined ajna. Please be aware here that in an undefined, meaning the white center, the gates are only active when being in a surrounding that activates them, meaning when you are surrounded by people who have these centers defined, and also by something that we call transits. So it's not always active only when surrounded by these certain people or these circumstances in the universe. So let's start with the consciously activated gates. And this, what I'm going to say now, should not be news to you because it's consciously activated. Gate 47 is the gate of realization. The epiphany of when you break through said mental chatter, like the mental chatter that goes on in your head because your center is undefined and it's going blah, 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 blah all day. And the blah, blah, blah comes from other people, not from yourself, but it feels like your thoughts. So the epiphany of when you break through this mental chatter and receive the information about how to implement the idea that just came up in your head, you need to wait and trust that the answers will come. Mostly, again, wait until your emotions cool down. In this gate, you will always strive to answer the big questions of life, the why are people how they are, why do we treat the world as we do, etc. And what can we do about it? This gate really aims for answers. So it also means that you're a born problem solver. And that shows up here again. I said that a few times in the videos before. You do have an abstract way of thinking and finding new solutions, which are not always greeted with joy in others. Whenever you get lost in worrying about solutions for problems, the answer is relax. Relaxing, calming down, and this taking turns with you concentrating on the problem will bring you into your genius. Just find a way to realize, okay, this is the moment where I'm not going to get any further without with thinking. So I'm just going to stop, cool down, relax. And in the following phase, the answer is going to come. So gate 4 is another gate, is also activated consciously. This is the gate of, again, mental solutions. Another one. This gate shows that you're very often worried about things and problems that have not and might never be occurring. And this stresses you out. Do you know, there's a saying, do you know the saying, like, I live through 1,000 crises every day and 2 of them are real? This could be your motto. What if there is no level of planning to guarantee your success? What if your success relied on the same kind of carefree energy that you used to have as a kid and teenager? This gate, showing a potential brilliant mind, can get lost in dodginess. If your mind doesn't have an answer to a problem occurring, you get anxious and stressed out. All this planning we do in order to save ourselves from failure and losing control and getting hurt. And also here, vulnerability and the willingness to experience this is the answer. When you realize that not having the answer and even failing doesn't mean that you are a mistake, just that you made a mistake, your peace will come. Allow everything to happen and be aware of the fact that you will be able to solve every problem as soon as it occurs, not before. Gate 11 is activated in a conscious and unconscious way. So you kind of already find the following infos in your life, but they have an extent that you don't yet realize. This gate, activated in this way, you share with your brother and also with me. This is the gate of ideas and harmony. It's rich and fantastic ideas of bringing more harmony to the world and to the people around you. This gate activated, you do become engaged in this world as it's constantly active in promoting and teaching peace and consideration between people. And it's also constantly looking for uniting them instead of separating them. In me, it shows in serving humanity through my podcast, my programs, and my mentorings, aiming a wholehearted living and compassionate lifestyle towards every being on this planet because we all deserve it, just because we are. When gate 11 is manifesting in your life unconsciously, meaning the shadow, and it is halfway, I think it's half red and half black, so it means it's half conscious, half unconscious. This gate has an overactive imagination that creates anxiety and fear, and it can look like only seeing what you want to see and hiding behind your beliefs or picking fights or pushing people's buttons, whereas this might be the more subconscious activation. This gate dislikes old-fashioned ideas and one-off systems, and it recreates and develops. With this gate activated, we just know that the power of unity is much more influential than the power of a single person. And this explains why your ideas mostly come in fields of public interest, less in our own interest. And this is also where we function well in a group. It is the energy for transforming higher possibilities into concepts and ideas for inner contemplation. It has a rich and rewarding imagination and can think for days. This gate active is reminding that every single person has their responsibility towards this planet and towards the greater good. And one other person, by the way, who has this gate activated is Al Gore, who shares this gate with us, as I just said. And the motto of this gate is change for the better. And I think we can also see this motive having appeared throughout your life in your different ways of engaging. And you're probably also one of the harmony bringers in your family as well. So gate 43 is activated in an unconscious way. So this you are not aware of until now. So listen closely. It might just explain a few things. Gate 43 is the gate of insight, or the listener within. It has a way of coming up with ideas that create breakthroughs. It can recognize the essential nature of staying true to your own inner truth. It may feel like there's an inner voice inside your head that just always knows the answers, and often they are very deep. These are insights that can cause a breakthrough in a project or in an idea or in a problem. And you receive these brilliant lightning bolts in your head, but no one around you seems to understand them on the same level. You can be ahead of everyone else, but they just don't seem to realize that. It must have been frustrating at school very often for you, as you feel that you just somehow cannot explain them accurately to people in order for them to understand. When gate 43 is manifesting in your life unconsciously, as it is, you may struggle with making space to listen to your inner wisdom. Thoughts in our head and wisdom in our hearts just clash sometimes. Depending on whether you internalize or externalize this shadow, it can look like listening to others instead of listening to yourself, or filling your time with other people's thoughts, information, and educating yourself in the shadow frequency. It feels like worrying, doubting, confusion about your worth, about the worth of your ideas, and also your self-worth. But as with all the shadows, there's always a gift. So our inner work in this gate is to bring the shadow into the light of consciousness, which we just did, and embrace the full spectrum of its potential and the brightness of your ideas. The gift is the awareness that your inner wisdom is your most important asset and it is to be trusted. And you're an MG, so you have your sacred, you have your inner wisdom there. It needs to be trusted no matter what. It's knowing that thoughts and ideas can be a playground when we give them space to roam free. And it's also making space for stillness, which is like the enemy to any MG is stillness and meditating. Allowing ideas to flow, and that timing is everything when we communicate ideas. Be aware again here that even if you're feeling how real and brilliant your thoughts and ideas might be, people might not see or acknowledge it. Don't get hurt or frustrated by it. This is your design. Human design gate 43 is all about taking your time to think things through and staying true to what your inner voice is telling you, and to decide which of these thoughts are yours and which are others, and which to pursue. Here comes the moment of truth again that we already talked about in the first video, and your emotional clarity telling you what to do. Coming to your throat center, you have 3 gates activated here. One is activated in a channel that I already talked about earlier, the channel 1222. So I'm just going to skip to the other 2 gates. One is consciously activated and one is unconsciously activated, meaning in the shadow form. Let's start with the consciously activated gate, gate 45. Gate 45 says, I have. It's the gate of collection. You're a natural leader and teacher who likes to be in control and make stuff happen. This is not democratic or representative leadership. You are more of a gatherer of people and resources, and your instinct is to protect and guide them. We could also refer to you as Your Majesty, as you're sitting on your throne that you deserve, and you are able to manage your whole household to everyone's best. You're clever with money and you're a good keeper of it. You share this gate, by the way, with Bill Gates. And you often probably are using the vocabs I have or I don't have in your daily language. Gate 16 is activated in a shadow form, meaning unconsciously. This is the gate of selection, meaning you have a natural talent in finding the potential in projects and people. Gate 16 gives you the ability to foresee the pathway that is to come and guide people on it. This gate is always collective, meaning you will criticize the world and the people around you if something for you seems wrong. And you will tell others what projects or goals are worth pursuing. You just know how good it feels to be pursuing something that is worth the effort, mostly as you as an MG are keen on dropping things if you don't like them anymore. And you just know how good it feels if you found something that's worth your time and your effort, and you know how unbearable it is to pursue projects that are doomed or not sure to work out, or where people won't be grateful for it. Gate 16 lets you select the good ideas from the bad and share this knowledge with the world. So whenever you have an idea that seems to work out, you immediately have to tell everyone, which they don't always agree with. Gate 16 is also enthusiasm without depth. This is to just do it if it's good gate. And gate 16 will just do things and figure out the details later. The good news is that gate 16 is usually imbued with natural talent and can often get away with the superficial expression of talent it carries. And gate 16 will always draw the people and supporters into your life that you need to pursue the projects you expect to be successful. And when I said I said we because I have this gate activated as well, but in a conscious way. So I've been knowing about this before, and you know now. So let's go on to the self-center and its 3 activated gates in your chart. One of them builds a channel that I already spoke about earlier in this video, but let's talk about the 2 others. Both are activated in an unconscious way, which is interesting because the self-center is the place where your identity is. So I already talked about that you do have a defined self-center, which makes you sure in your identity. But these gates being activated in an unconscious way just adds a bit of pepper in it. Let's just go through them. So gate 7. Oh, gate 7 comes as, again, natural leadership, coming to convince people of working towards a common agreement and communication. And it makes tremendous peace with itself when it realizes that it is here to serve a leadership that is bigger than itself. Gate 7 needs to commit to service and leadership that is for the greater good of the whole. The 7, without the gate 31 that you don't have activated, struggles to be heard. These are energies that have to be recognized and are by nature truly democratic in their highest expression. You cannot force leadership with this energy. It won't last. People with either the gate 7 or the gate 31 are recognized as natural leaders. It is quite common for them to be put into leadership roles by a group, and that is where you're supposed to be. You just know that you're born to be bringing your way of doing things into your community or family, which also kind of carries the curse of being the one people come to with their struggles and conflicts and whom they expect solutions from. As I already said, might be a problem with your open mind because you don't realize that those problems are not your problems. So you kind of may feel the urge of solving every problem that passes you by, which is not your task. So when people come with their struggles and conflicts and want solutions from you, it may feel to the others that you have the map and the compass and they need you for advice. But you're not helping them by giving it to them. You're helping them by asking good questions that show them that all the answers lie in themselves. This is actual self-empowerment, and seeing this in others makes you happy and grateful for being able to pursue your task. You know that discipline does help to reach goals, and if you're lacking it yourself, you're easy to be taken by trends, by the power of the masses and the likes and dislikes of people surrounding you. Just get to know your own truth, and your own aims and stick to them. Then this will be just fine. Success for you will not come through pressure, but through winning hearts and minds through your natural energy, field, and talents. And gate 15 is also activated unconsciously. This is the gate that leads you a lot, the gate of love towards humanity. I love this gate in people. It's the energy for extreme love for humanity and nature. With your humble, unbiased character, you see humanity as one big family, engaging yourself to bring people back to this knowledge, to remember the peace that lies within this idea. With your positivity, you quickly win people's respect, support, and admiration. Equality and justice are important values for you, and though the reality might frustrate you often, you will never lose this hope and deep knowledge within you because it fuels you. You probably have friends throughout all social classes, as you love getting in contact with people and you love to get to know their stories, and you can find love for everyone in your heart. You have the natural talent to connect people with each other and yet hate to be in surroundings where people are having control over you, as freedom is an important thing for you. You just love being in the flow of life, free and unrestricted. You're not designed to be consistent, mostly as your own energy too. And you're free and energetic if you can live to your own rhythms, which is so important for you. So, coming to your heart center or ego, which is undefined. You only have one activated gate in your ego, and this is gate 26, activated consciously, so you know about this. Please be aware here again that in an undefined white center, this gate is only active when you're in a surrounding that activates them, meaning when you're surrounded by people who have these centers defined or by a transit. Your brother does not have this defined, but I don't know about your other siblings. So you may think about that one person that activates this gate in you, where you just show this character trait whenever they are around. So the official name for Human Design Gate 26 is the Gate of the Egoist. But I found a much nicer name for it. I found the name Sacred Salesperson, which I liked a lot. This gate is about the maximum of results at any time that you would like to get out of life. Be it wealth or prestige, if you engage in something with your full attention and after deciding that this idea is worth pursuing, you want to get the maximum out of it. You don't like wasting time or beating around the bush. If you decided for something, you'll go for it and you get it. The core theme of this gate is to be the best. Mostly if that gate is not defined, which is only, I think only 10% of people have this center defined, meaning that most don't have it defined. And if you don't have your ego colored in or defined, that means that you're constantly comparing yourself to others. You're constantly in competition with others. So, being the best, coming back to being the best, this gate has the energy of selling a brighter future to your tribe, family, friends, with integrity. Because the 26 trusts in the abundance of life, it's empowered to build trust in its community, and it does the right thing. The gift, meaning the conscious side, is the awareness that your integrity is your most valuable asset, which you might find in the world repeatedly. It starts from a place of service when it's in everyone's best interest. And it's knowing that purpose isn't something you force into the world. It's something you align with by choosing integrity. So when we go on to the Undefined Planning Center, you have two activated gates, one consciously and one unconsciously. Be aware again here that in an undefined, meaning white center, this gate is only active when you're being surrounded by people with this center defined, or when the transits go through this center. So let's start with the one that you're aware of, gate 28. This is the gate of the game player. This gate's energy is the struggle for the meaning of life, the struggle to find your divine connection. Through the struggle, you become incredibly wise about the meaning of life. This gate has the subtle fear of death in it, and therefore the urge to put as many risks and experiences in your own lifetime. Enjoying your life to the fullest needs courage, mostly in times full of struggles, and you meet them with an endless optimism and the constant look on the bright side of life, which people love you for. Gate 59 is activated half consciously, half unconsciously, and this is the gate of the values. This gate provides the inner need of supporting and protecting your family and community and transforming individual ambition into teamwork. You are someone who has a deep need of finding respect and acceptance in living the values of the individuals of your family or the group you live in. This gate activated means that you are someone who knows all by himself. And it comes from deep inner knowing what's right and what's wrong, what's fair and what's unfair, what's stable and unstable, and how sustainable something is for your family. So your big question is, what are the values that serve this planet best? And how can we make people take over responsibility for their own actions? And how can we all be held accountable? That's why you speak up for every minority that needs a voice. The gates activated in your sacral center are 3, one of them being coded in a channel that I already described earlier. So here are the other 2. Gate 29 is activated in a conscious way, and this is the gate of saying yes. You will always choose harmony in a conflict rather than standing up for yourself right in that situation, which can be a huge problem for you. Setting up boundaries and not always saying yes is something that is a big challenge for you. Learning how to decipher between the things you really want to say yes to and the people pleasing part for the sake of harmony is crucial here. Clarity will lead you the way, as always, with an emotional authority. Please realize that saying no whenever it is not a hell yes will make people respect you, because then they can be sure that your yes really is a yes. Gate 9 is activated unconsciously, and this is the gate of energy for detail. This gate crashes a lot with you overall functioning as NG, starting 1,000 things and having trouble finishing them. This gate just might feel like chewing gum in your engine, holding you back from pacing in your high speed. You do have an eye for the detail, but it shows more in the need to have all details set up before you begin with something. And that's a problem. When you puzzle, you do a jigsaw, for example, yet you will want to put all pieces out of the box, look at them closely, sort them out before you start. You need to have the feeling like, okay, I need it all figured out. I need to have an overview. I need to know everything that is to know here before I can start, which makes you not start in many situations at all. So this may make you feel frustrated, unfocused, and lost in projects whenever you feel like you're losing sight of the big picture. And also this is activated in an unconscious way, so you're not really aware of this being the problem. So please be aware of that. Whenever things are not really interesting for you, you might lose the focus, and this can easily be met by choosing wisely which projects to follow and which don't, which you have the perfect ability for, as I mentioned before in one of the other gates. Let's continue with your emotional center. You have 3 activated gates in your emotional center, 1 leading into a channel that I already described before. So let's talk about the other 2, which are both activated consciously. It's gate 6, the gate of friction. This gate can be the energy of war and conflict. However, if it is used properly, it can be true intimacy and emotional balance. With gate 6 defined, your emotional wave feels very stable, and you are here to learn about the flood of emotions the solar plexus brings. This energy is described as the hope to pain wave, defining the fear of intimacy, experienced as nervousness about being open to others, and awareness of whether to bond or not. Whenever you step into conflict of yourself or others, everything depends on your emotional clarity. Your presence in these conflicts can either bring an explosion or the end of a storm. You might know the role of the harmony bringer in your family again. You always strive for a solution in conflict. Your emotional waves are way less distinctive than the ones of your brother. With this gate activated, you're able to leave the emotions quicker and get into your clarity in order to direct the conflict into the right channels. This gate also supports the inner balance, the emotional consciousness, and the responsibility of bringing balance into every aspect of one's life. It is right here that we find a big difference to your brother's design, who's likely in his unconscious shadow to get lost in his anger and pain. This doesn't happen easily to you. And here again, you stabilize him in your relationship. He benefits in the energetic way of your presence, using your sacred energy as life force and your stability to get centered just by your presence, which I love so much. Your last gate activated in the center is gate 36, which completes the former gates in a perfect way, as this gate is the gate of crisis. We already crossed the gate of conflict and the gates of bringing harmony, and now we have arrived at crisis. In a healthy expression, gate 36 shows as an emotional endurance of sorts, meaning you're able to hold space for the emotional storm that feeling all your feelings can be. But you also have the wisdom to wait for that storm to pass to gain the emotional clarity before taking action, which I envy you for. I need this. Chris needs this. We need this, and you have it. This means that you're using your strategy by design. It is also the humanity and compassion to understand that others may also struggle with big, difficult feelings and lash out at us when these feelings are deep in the throes of their own emotional storm, when we are deep in the throes of our emotional storms. We get lost in it, and you can't just hold the space, which is priceless. Seriously, we all need a Scott in our lives. Okay, so if this gate is activated, then you don't lose sight in this emotional storm. You can go into these explosions in a subjective, compassionate way, rather than personalizing the outburst and punishing the other one that caused the outburst in you, which is never the other one, it's always you. But let's not dive deep into this. So when we are super emotionally unhealthy or feeling really vulnerable or fearful, the shadow side of gate 36 shows up in a couple different ways. It can show up as a collapse and intense personalization, I love this word, of the actions of others. It can also manifest as a calling in of crisis and drama and self-sabotage. So in this, you see like the gift side and the shadow side of this gate. You will find peace in the fact that you are designed to find many challenging situations in life, more than others, just to develop your skills and to let go of your fears. Here you will realize how strong and stable you really are, and thus these challenges need to occur to grow you into your best version. So try to be grateful for it instead of struggling with it. I know the feeling of why me? Feeling like I'm the victim of my life, like everybody's got just one thing on their to-do list, like fucking up my day, being the victim in this. Oh, I know the feeling. And as soon as I realized that this is not the truth and that I can embrace these challenges just to grow, I am free. Okay, so you have one more center that we didn't talk about yet, the root center. But this one, interestingly enough, is completely open with no activated gates. Whereas your brother, by the way, has this center defined, has all the adrenaline going on. You don't. And this means that you're lacking this adrenaline and this constant flow in your daily life. And this center, when it's defined, has a quick closure of projects or keeping deadlines. You don't. You may just be as procrastinating as I am, like always handing stuff in the last minute, because we need this adrenaline kick from time. We don't have it naturally going through us. We don't produce it by ourselves. So you can also just spend time with your brother who's defined in the center, and you just swing on his adrenaline energy there, which is a solution for this problem. Adventures with him may feel exciting, whereas you alone would never get to the idea of trying these things just by yourself. This is the perfect example for being energetically conditioned. We just borrow these energies and live out other sides of us. This is why we change with every relationship we have, because we energetically condition each other in the centers that we are either defined or undefined. We just match in certain ways. So let's come to the last part, and I think most important part of this video, your purpose in life. This is found in your incarnation class. I'm just gonna show you where it goes. That's right here. You should see it here. And your incarnation class says that you are having a true sense of being in seeing the loss in life and conflict with a life goes on, eternal optimistic attitude. Through this, you create a positive field full of hope for friends and family, and the realization that love and friendship grows out of crisis, which means you have to live through crisis to find out that this comes in order to help everyone. You also came as one of those humans that are here to enjoy their work and their life and to guide us into a deep love for the planet and the material reality. So you probably enjoy your material reality much more than the rest of your family, which is okay, which is fine, because it's your design. And that's what I want to go into like for a minute, because I think we are all kind of struggling with our design and with the things that are given to us and the things that are not given to us. Everybody with an emotional authority says, I want to have a sacred authority because I want to have my intuition clearer. I don't want to fuck up things constantly in relationships. I don't want to go all the way up to the moon with my emotions and leaving everybody on burned grounds down on earth. Let me just give you the one thing. What I'm trying to say is that I think everyone struggles with the design we have because we are so deeply in all the conflicts that come from it. And what I also want to say is that your design is perfect in its whole system. You came with everything that you need to master your life, to master every problem that occurs and every challenge that is given to you. You got what you need, so there's nothing to develop in order for you to master your life. You don't have to learn new skills. You just have to learn to master your design, which is all included in it. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned a few things. I hope you took away some information about yourself. I hope you had these moments that I always have when I read about my human design in my chart. And yeah, I think I will soon see you again with our first projector, who are a very special kinds of persons you will see in the next video. Thank you so much for watching, and see you soon. Bye.